Where my girls at? Where my girls at? Independent, free spirit. Ooh, it's something serious. Where my girls at? We link up in a cool minute. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. Where my girls at? It's going down, down. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right. It's going down tonight. We going out tonight. Yeah, right. We going out tonight. It's going down tonight. Yeah, right.
It's going down. It's going down. Where my girls at? Where my girls at? You know, when you hear that music, you know who we are. Hello, everyone. It's another beautiful day in the D, and you're listening to We Got Issues on 910 AM, the Superstation, WFDF, based right here in Detroit, but it's heard all over the world. I'm your host, Crisette Ellis from the D, and on this Thankful Tuesday, I'm excited to be here with my Force of Friendship girlfriends. You guys know we are here every day, Monday through Friday from 6 to 7 p.m., sharing some love, some lessons, and some laughter. All the girlfriends, let me check. Oh, yeah, they're all here. They're all here. And you know what? They are accounted for and present, right? And you know what? By this time, I think we're going into our 7th month or ending our 7th month. I mean, we've been on quite a while. So you're kind of figuring out who they are. You already know who the bossy one is, the crazy, the silly, the nosy, the gossipy one. I ain't saying no names.
Yeah, y'all know that one. You know that one. You know that one.
A couple of them got all of them. A couple of us got more than one.
And messy, and the list goes on and on. But all of these girlfriends, you guys are part of the tribe. You make the world go round. My co-host on today is our girl, Caterina Harris Earl from the West Coast. And we got Gloria Mayfield Banks from Ellicott City, Maryland. And we got Sabrina Goodwin. What's your last name? Sabrina Goodwin Monday, hanging out in Chapel Hill.
Yeah, you saw her. She cut her eyes at you. Did you see how she cut her eyes at you? Radio audience. You know what?
It's not Monday. It's Tuesday. Okay. But she's getting ready to make a big move to the Ohio area. But we're excited, and we are excited to have another very informative show for you today. You guys know our children have gone back into the classroom, and they've gone back into the classroom with lots of drama. I don't know if you guys saw one, I think it was in Florida, where, you know, they had some kind of meeting and they broke out fighting. I said, what an example, really, for the children.
Yeah.
I mean, they're fighting. Should the children mask? Should they not wear masks? So they've gone back with a lot of drama, controversy, and of course, let's be real, let's be clear, the fear of the coronavirus. And you guys, with this new Delta variant, it is affecting children. They're saying that now the pediatric wards are filled with children, right? And so you guys, can you only imagine, this is the going into their 2nd year of school, and it looks totally different than how it did in 2019. I mean, can you guys, we could not imagine everything that has transpired since 2019. But you guys, on today, I am so excited about our guest that we have, First Lady Eunice Peak. She is here, and she is going to talk to us about about early childhood literacy. Now, let me just tell you guys, I have learned so much talking to her and reading up on this topic. So I want you to know you're going to learn a whole lot during this hour. So if you know anyone who has children from birth to 5 years old, call them up and tell them they got to listen to the show on today. I'm sure they can get excited about learning how they can increase their children's IQs. You guys, I promise you, I wish I had known a lot of this information when my children were young. But you guys, there's so much that's going on in the world, so much in the news. I mean, our hearts and prayers go out to Louisiana and all of those who have suffered so much loss there. I think they said there's 5 people that have perished because of Hurricane Ida. And so, you guys, it's just so much. And then, of course, we've got Afghanistan. So it's a lot to cover, but I'm going to throw it over to my girlfriend. I'm going to throw it over to Caterina Harris Earl. What's up, Caterina, from the West Coast?
Hey. It's still hot over here. It's just hot. I have to keep, as a matter of fact, I think I need to text somebody in my house and say, go check on the dog. Cause we got one inside dog and one outside dog. And they both got groomed yesterday. Sabrina, your dog, Rio, was looking like he got groomed too. So they feeling fancy, but it's hot. I mean, my older dog, we had to scalp her down like a puppy because it's so hot out here. I'm like, if I was
What's the
you,
temperature,
I would not want a fur coat on. I have to ask ALEXA because I haven't been on side today, but it's definitely over 100. It's just, is it 101 or 108? Like what?
Wow.
Which one of them ones is it? But the deal is in the Bay Area, y'all, it'll drop to 50 at night. Like without humidity, it doesn't hold the heat when the sun is down. So it's a trip. It'll be 50 degrees and then it'll be 100 degrees. Like it's not like 80 at night. It'll get like cool. Right. So that's what's going on. And I sent y'all that link that caught my attention about Social Security costs expected to exceed total income in 2021. I mean, seriously.
What?
Seriously, you know how they used to talk about that, like in the future, that was always going to be
right.
In the future. Like
right.
in
right.
the future,
right.
Well, the future is now. The future is now. Like, I'm like, if Biden got one more thing, he got to handle. So that was like, wow. That's what I got going on. And Sabrina, for the radio audience, she is working this hat. So we want to hear, it must be a fancy free day in North Kakalaki. How you doing?
I'm good. All is well. All is good in the hood. As long as I'm staying in my house, not minding nobody, I'm not trying to mess with nobody.
And she don't live in
I'm
no
not
hood.
trying to go.
Right.
I'm not
I know,
trying.
right. As long as you don't see the hood, touch the hood, go to the hood. See all everything good in the hood.
She's so far from the hood. It ain't even...
It's all good in the hood. It's all good. Everybody's hood is whatever you want to be. I didn't say what the hood was. I said the hood. So, we can get all kind of creative with our hood. So it's good. Caterina, I heard something out west where they evacuated 50,000 people, maybe Lake Tahoe. Yeah, because of fires. Yeah,
I mean, I haven't even heard it. I mean, it's so terrible. I get the fire alerts and there are so many of them. I can't keep track of them. I just
wow.
in my area. That is so terrible between Twitter and the California. It's like there's so many of them. And I remember getting an alert, but I didn't read it.
Yeah, I mean, they say 50,000 people evacuated out that way. And so between that, you guys, and New Orleans area, the Louisiana area, I mean, it'll be maybe a month before they get power, before they get water.
They said that before they get power, y'all.
I mean, it's devastating. It's devastating. And so you have to wonder, are these the last days between the fires and the floods and the tornadoes and the hurricane and the virus? So like my sister
and
always
the wars.
says, and the wars. Yep. My sister always says, you know what, Sabrina, God's got us, and everybody better just be trying to live their best live. Okay. Live their best life. And do what the word says do. So that's where we are. That's where we are. Gloria, how are you?
I can't believe you brought that up, because today in my word, I was reading about that and I was like, wow, it just, when it lays it all out, it does make you wonder. It puts a little concern when you start listing out those things that are so big, and then you go and read about it. It really is very concerning. But I'm good here in Baltimore. It's overcast. We're waiting for Ida to come. Ida's coming up this way, so it's going to hit Maryland. It's going to be all in rain, of course, so we're going to have nothing compared to what Louisiana had to deal with. The rain is coming tomorrow. But when I was listening and reading about it today, I was unbelievable that they may have no power for a month. Unbelievable, the flood scenes. And I'm saying that because sometimes we don't relate to what unbelievable is until you're sitting there. And then when they were talking about the fires in Phoenix, I mean, to put the hot on top of the fire and the tremendous amount of acreage. I remember going out to Nebraska once and looked at something, and they said, that's an acre. And then they said, that's 100 acres. And then when you hear these numbers of the acreage that is burning so fast and rapidly, I just keep walking around my house like I'm in the no complaint zone. I'm in the no complaint zone. I'm in the no complaint zone. Anybody want to complain? Turn on the news. I'm in the no complaint zone. I mean, people have business out. There was one guy that was getting interviewed. He said, I had to take all my humbling belongings, and I don't know whether my home will be here, and I don't know if our community will be here. I mean, it's just.
And they said, don't even think about coming home. Don't even think about coming home. People want to go back. They want to see what's happening. They said, don't even think about coming this way right now. No time soon. And so where do all these people go? Where do they live? How do they be with, you're misplaced, displaced? I mean, they have to hunker down, and everybody doesn't have those resources.
Everybody doesn't have a place to go live. Everybody doesn't have a place to go live. And then does your income continue while you can't go to work? Everyone can't work remote.
Right. And everybody can't pay the people that they were going to pay because their businesses aren't running. So those people, and we know that our economy is mostly fueled by entrepreneurs. And so they're mostly fueled by small entrepreneurs that cannot go a month without generating income in order to pay out. I mean, this is a big deal, y'all, in every way.
Everything affects everything else. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting that the gentleman was saying, he was imploring those who have left not to come back, because he said that this is the most crucial time where more people will die than people who have died during the actual hurricane.
I heard that.
Because, and he talked about all of the different things that happen when people come back, just so many things that can happen. And, the hospitals right now are already overrun with COVID patients. I mean, you're talking about one thing on top of another. And how I used to say, can it get any worse? Yes, it can. I mean, it's like they have just been hit with so much. So we just have to continue to pray for them. And, the show on yesterday, Sabrina, great show yesterday. Do whatever we can to help those individuals, because you know what? It's a community. And even though we don't live there, we are blessed right now. I mean, I'm sitting here, I have all my lights on, I have food in the refrigerator, I have a house, a roof over my head. So you know what? Let's be our brothers and sisters keeper and do what we can to help those who are finding themselves in such a terrible situation right now. So you guys, we're going to go ahead and get started with our subject on today. I'm so excited. So I want to read this to you just so that you understand how important it is when we have children and talking to our children, how it really does affect them. There was a 10-year study done by Lena researchers that confirms the amount of talk with adults that baby experiences in their first 3 years, you guys, first 3 years of life is related to their verbal abilities and their IQ in adolescence. Two-way conversations in the 18 to 24 month age range may be very important. There was a paper that was written entitled Language Experience in the Second Year of Life and Language Outcomes in Late Childhood. This was released for the first time through an advanced online publications on pediatrics. The publication marks the longest term study on the relationship between interactive talk in early childhood and later life outcomes. It went on to say the results, the adult words, and especially the conversations the children's experience between 18 and 24 months correlated to 10 years later with their IQ, their verbal comprehensive vocabulary, and other language skills. And that is just a little tip of the iceberg. And we'll share some more information with you a little bit later. But I am excited to bring our guests to the show. Can you bring and welcome First Lady Eunice, John Pete. We got issues.
Hey, lovely, lovely. All right.
OMG. I am so
it.
excited to have her. Let me just tell you just a little bit about her. She is the COO, working as a team with her wonderful, loving husband, Reverend Lonnie Pete Jr. And those of you in the Detroit metropolitan area, y'all know we love Reverend Lonnie Pete. Okay, they have an e-business strategies LLC, which is based in Detroit, which is a program management company. She has served as a program manager for you guys, USA UNICEF, for the nationwide Ebola campaign in Africa. She also served as a program manager for the Dr. Martin Luther King Memorial Foundation, where they helped to raise over, listen to this, $120 million to build the monument located on the Tidal Basin in Washington, D.C. Well, today she is here, and she is the program manager with Detroit Early Literacy Faith Initiative. Talking is teaching. And so I, again, am so excited to have you on. We got issues on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation. Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
You are so welcome. So, Eunice, I wanted to talk to you today, and I thought it was so important that we have this conversation, especially because we know children are going back to school, and we've had several educators on the show, and they talked about, this experience, what they're losing because of being out of school and having to adjust and pivot to all these different ways of learning. But in talking to you and reading up on your program, Talking is Teaching, I was really surprised at, how important, even though, I didn't really know how important it is to talk to our children at such an early age, because I would say all of us have been guilty, or I'll say I've been guilty when my children were young. You kind of baby talk to them, say ta-ta, ta-ta, instead of saying thank you, right? Come on, we all have done that, right? So Eunice, talk to us a little bit about how important it is to talk to our children at a very young age.
Thank you so much, Lady Crisette. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
A thumbs up. Okay, very good, ladies. It is such a pleasure to be here. You just don't know. And being in this situation with the children and our families, and not only our families, the grandchildren and nieces and nephews and even neighbors, becoming aware of how we can make a difference, not just talking to them and loving on them, but loving on them all the time by talking to them, reading to them, and singing to them. How many of you sang to your children? And I know we have audiences there, people out there that are listening in. I grew up in a singing family. I grew up in a very large family as well. So there were some things that we automatically did. And my mother, bless her heart, loved reading. So I took on the reading part. talking, reading, and loving. It was just amazing. In teaching, that's fine. That was just so great. And now survey shows that there are about 30 million words that our children miss when they start to school. By the time they're the third grade, they are behind, way behind.
Wow.
And what you got to figure is it's got to start when you're age. So what our program does is called Talking is Teaching, Talk, Read, Sing. It is a part of, in conjunction with Too Small to Fail. The Clinton Foundation is a part of this process. We have so many people here in Michigan, Great Start Collaborative. Wayne Risa, who is over the education department here in Michigan, they're engaged in this part. In fact, they're the ones that brought us to this process. And let me just tell you, ladies, one of the reasons
Lady Eunice, I want you to hold that thought because we have to take this break. You're listening to We Got Issues on 910 AM, the Superstation, and we're having a great conversation about early childhood literacy. Talking is teaching. You don't want to miss this conversation. So come back and we'll be right back after this break. You're listening to We Got Issues, 910 AM, the Superstation.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We are here, you guys. Talking is teaching. You know, I'm so excited about what Lady Eunice is going to talk to us about today. 30 million words. How do our children miss them? I mean, I'm anxious to hear how we miss these words, how we can catch up to these words, because we think that we're doing a good job with vocabulary. I know all of us are probably like, well, I talk to my children, I sing to my children. So we're anxious to hear what Lady Eunice Shaw Peak has to say about it all. Well, you guys, young people, make sure that you tag a girlfriend who has small children, tag a grandmother who has small children, tag a daddy who has small children, because we are all about solutions, not the problem, but the solution. We want to make sure that we catch up on these 30 million words that we are missing out on. So it is Terrific Tuesday. We're so glad you guys are here. Where are you guys calling in from? Where are you listening from? We thank you for being part of our tribe. We're here Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Eastern.
No, I'm getting late. Is he the only one that's on?
Always want to know what you guys want to talk about. What do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I want her to finish. Yeah, he'll hold. So yeah.
So type in the chat some suggestions, because we do listen to you guys, and we have a production show and we have a post-production show, and we're always looking for ideas and special guests and things of that nature. So make sure you hit us up, direct message us. I see you, Dietrich from Detroit. Thank you for being part of our tribe. Yes, type your name in the chat, you guys. Tell us where you guys are watching from. We do know we have a listening audience. You are in the car, you are cooking dinner, you are doing what you need to do, and you are on the 910 app, or you are on the YouTube channel. You can catch us a lot of different ways, but catch us, you guys, and share this broadcast. Share it, share it, share it. We've got a lot of fun things planned if we could ever get out of this pandemic. But for right now, we're being safe and secure as possible. We really, really appreciate your support. We do. Hey, Wanda from San Diego. Carolyn Muse, our #1 fan. I promise you get the badge. Hey, Jackie Andrews from Dallas. All right, you guys. Here we go. We're going back to Lady Eunice Peak.
All right, we're back. We're back. We are back. And you are listening to We Got Issues on 910 AM, the Superstation. Now, before we went to break, we were talking about early childhood literacy. Talking is teaching. And we are here with our special guest, First Lady Eunice Peak, who is the program manager with Detroit Early Literacy Faith Initiative. And so right at the break, she was just talking to us a little bit about the program. So go ahead, Lady Pete, share with us what you were saying right before break.
Just before the break, I wanted to make certain everyone understood that we were recommended for this position because of our work with the Martin Luther King Foundation Monument. They knew of us, and let me just tell you, Pastor Adams is the one that recommended us. And what we always say is, you never know when you're not in the room who's got your name on the roll call. That's something, it was just amazing.
Right.
We had no idea. They came to us and we said, really? It was amazing. And from that, we were partnered with UNICEF, with that E. coli. And it was just, we've just been moving. And now with the Talking is Teaching going around just the city of Detroit right now in Wayne County. But I want you to know that there are different organizations across the country. Do we have any California people there? It started in Oakland. All right. There's a Tulsa, Oklahoma church partnership. Right. But and ours is, like I said, it is a church event. It is a faith-based initiative, the part that we're engaged in. But the big picture, as it relates to all of Michigan, it is for everyone. They're going to the doctors who take care of children, going to the libraries. They're going to barbershops. We were involved in that, having barbershop. They're getting their haircut, and they're also reading books because there's a big thing of books over to the side that they can enjoy. So now let's get right back. So you got that right. It was started in 2014, the Too Small to Fail. And we've been doing this in Michigan. I think this is our 3rd year. And our prayer is that we will continue. And if it's not in this area, it'll be even more explosive because there's so many opportunities that we can do as it relates to talking, teaching, and reading to our kids. We really want parents, if you're out there and you have children and loved ones, people that you know of, we want you to listen up. If you're not talking to them, someone else is. Right. Someone else is. And we want to make certain that they are talking, reading, singing. Now, you know we love to sing, right? So what do you sing? How do we turn that into a situation where you are getting syllabus things talking about math? How do we turn that into an education when we go into the supermarket and your mom says, I want something green and I want something about 5 inches long and I want this, and then your child says, you're talking about an apple. And then the daughter said, no, you're talking about an egg. No, you're too small. The point is, you get my point. They're learning. And you're absolutely right, Lady Crisette. I had no idea about these things when I was coming up. I knew that I listened to my mom. There was 12 in my family. And I just gravitated to her. And that's why I love this. I love this, what we're doing.
And you know what? One of the things I want to say is when you talk about the singing part, we all had nursery rhymes that we would recite, and some of them, I guess you could sing. But I so remember growing up, and I'm sure I was in maybe elementary school. Do you guys remember Schoolhouse Rock? Okay, and they would put and it came on Saturdays, and they had they had put some hard things to music, and you would sing it, and before you knew it, you knew the preamble to the United States. Why? Because it was in a song. And so sometimes we think, I don't know if I want to sing. My baby might look at me and be like, oh, please stop, don't sing to me. But think about it. So many songs that come on, as soon as you hear the music, the words, right? The words pop in your head because it's something about music and singing. Some things we can't remember in college or things that we learn, but when we hear music, all the words to the song pop up.
That's good.
That's
good.
Powerful.
Mm-hmm. Let me say, how many of you have won a spelling bee? knew it.
There's always that one,
Hey,
the messy,
same
smarty
here,
one.
same here. That says a
I
lot
was a
about
runner
who you
up. I
are.
was a runner up, I think.
Oh, you
You
runner up?
think, you
Hey, I
think.
understand that too. But that's what we're talking about. Making successful kids, making them think instantly. In Detroit, just to tell you, well, I think it's Detroit, yeah. I wasn't going to talk about a sad thing, but one thing is the Detroit schools scored lowest in the nation for reading and math.
Wow. The lowest in the nation.
In the nation in reading and math. And we've been doing this for 3 years. The Clinton Foundation engaged in us 3 years ago, but Too Small to Fail is the originator. And I think they are from California as well. And that was 2014. So none of this has been around long enough. And my prayer is that God will just bless us so that we can keep it going. Keep it going. Did someone have something? I thought somebody was about to say something.
I got a question. I'm stuck on the 30 million words. How we're behind 30 million words, Lady Eunice. I want to know why we're so behind and what can we do to improve in that area.
You start where they are. Start at age 0. Our program is up through age 3 in Detroit, but because of the horrific time that we need to go into the schools, we changed that number 0 to 8 because we want to get them past that 3rd grade and be blessed. They love it. They love it, but no one was really pushing them and knew that it was that important. So in Detroit, for the last 3 years, we have served well over 350 families. We have about 20 churches. And we're going to the city right now. We're going all over. DTE Foundation has given us funds. TCF Bank has helped. Several organizations are pushing so that we can expand it. That's my point.
And you know what? Let me add this to Sabrina's question. What they found in the data from this particular study that they did, that children from the poorest background heard 1/3 as many words per hour as those from higher income backgrounds. And they said that by the time the children were 4 years old, there would be a 30 million word gap between the children from Black backgrounds compared to those from wealthier and professional households. But this is the thing. It says this is the problem because language is known to be the one most important predictor of how you're going to do later in life. Language.
Wow. Absolutely.
Language.
When they start school, they should have about 11,000 words when they were in kindergarten. So you got 11,000 and you got a 30 million. You see the difference there?
Right.
You see the difference.
Lady Eunice, this is so interesting and so important to bring to light. Is it true that it's not just the words, it's all the words in the house, what's coming through the TV, the words on the songs, the music, everything that is playing in the background that they're exposed to? Is that true?
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And the key to this are the family members, the husbands and the wives, the grandparents, talking these things out, making it normal. So that the child knows that, oh, this is what I'm supposed to get.
Right. Right.
Right.
Wow.
If this is water, my husband over here said water. What did you say about water?
Kitchen sink.
Oh, yeah.
This is the kitchen sink.
Right. Instead of saying the kitchen sink, this is where water comes from. And then do you know what water is? What shape is water? What color is water? And then you got a little, but you know what we're doing is we have, especially with the COVID, that means that we had to do some things different. And let me just tell you, that was a blessing for the city of Detroit children. Because now we have them absolutely. We have churches like Lady Crisette. She has one of the largest churches. I just want you to know, because like I said, we had about 350 families, almost 1,000 children. And I mean, they're working now. They understand that there is a need, and what am I supposed to be doing here? Now, of course, you have those sluggards. They say, well, this ain't for me. You know, I got to get mine. But we don't deal with those. And the people that are on the show now listening, they don't do that either. They're loving their children and showing it daily. Sometimes we've found, and I think this might be an opportunity as well, we've found that parents just don't know. And sometimes they've said, we don't even know how to read. Would you believe that? And we have loved on them and said, that's okay. Then we refer them, or they will become a partner with us so that we can help them to know what to say to their child and what not.
I have a question.
Hold on 1 second, Gloria. We have a couple of callers on the line.
Great.
I believe they've been waiting for a minute. So let me go to Miss Ali. Are you there?
Yes, hi, I'm here.
Hi.
How are you? Hi, good. How are you? I'm great. My name is Alina Ali, and I'm actually from Great Start Collaborative Wayne, and I just want to tell you the support of Miss Eunice Teague. We are so extremely proud of the work that she is doing and her husband with the churches. They are phenomenal, and I mean, talking is teaching is everything. I just want her to know that I'm here and I'm listening and we support you. Thank you. And the work that you are doing. And it makes such a tremendous difference. And we are all just so grateful that you are doing so much to get the word out. And we are happy and just want to know that we are here and we have your back. And we are so grateful to you for all that you're doing to help spread the word.
Oh, thank you so much. Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you. Alima, yes. Thank you so much for calling. We got issues and sharing. That always makes us feel so good when our guests are on and they have people that call in to support them. We also have Gary. Gary, are you on the line?
Yes, I'm on the line. Why would I not be? There was also another study that was done not only by the Christian Education of the Southern Baptists, but also by the Department of Education that said children, listen to this, Crisette, children that went to Sunday school, VGU, or Vacation Bible School in the minority neighborhoods were far more advanced when they got to preschool or elementary than any other student. If you teach your child adequate language, your child will excel. There is a gap between knowing and unknowing. When I used to work with the federal government, with Title I and all the rest of those different reasons why we get money, some people get money and other folks don't get money, it's based upon not only the quality of education, but the issues in that neighborhood or that region. What we don't understand is the child that don't get properly talked to. We gotta stop parents from goo gaga.
Right.
Children that were taught goo gaga have 90% of the time have a learning disability of being able to enunciate and pronunciate the word. It's sad that we have gone to the to the point where not only are we no longer doing book reports and comprehension, we now no longer do writing. So there's no seal proof of being able to explain to a child that you're writing out the word, which stops the pronunciation of writing it out, because you're going on a computer and the computer finishes the spelling. When you write the word, you sound it out. When you type the word, the computer stops your brain from working. Wow. You are listening now and you're a mother, a father, a caretaker. Stop letting your children do only computer homework. Make them write. Don't tell me about they don't have no homework. Give them homework if you want your child to be literate. We are dealing already, Crisette, with the first generation of children who didn't go to church, didn't go to Sunday school, didn't go to BTU, didn't go to the different organizational, whether you're Church of Christ, Church of God in Christ, Apostolic, Seventh-day Adventist. All of us had some type of training for the summer where we spent 2 weeks or a week or whatever to learn from a different environment. Those of us who had strict preacher fathers or deacon fathers, we had to learn a chapter of the Bible every day or every other day. But it made you learn how to articulate the words and the enunciation and pronunciation. When your child does not sound out words, it clicks into the brain. It clicks into the brain to be lazy. When your brain becomes lazy, you no longer can think out a pattern. You ever talk to somebody that seems like they're kind of slow? Not slow retarded, but they slow in speaking or slow in responding. Their brain has not been taught the comprehension skills of being able to articulate what is being said to what needs to be said. I speak to people all the time who say the English language still says, don't assume I know what you're saying. Tell me what you are saying. You can have a full conversation nowadays with people and you won't know what the hell they said. Because all they know is 3 letters. I don't know is L, whatever it is. But they don't know articulated conversations. They can't have a decent conversation.
And you know what, Gary, listen, when I tell you, you are laying down the truth. I mean the truth. Everything that you have said has been so true. And I hope that, our radio listeners are listening and that parents will understand just how important it is, like you said, not to rely. It's just like, we used to remember telephone numbers, but because we have cell phones, we don't have to remember phone numbers anymore, which has really stopped our brains from really engaging in that kind of activity of remembering things. And so, Gary, I appreciate everything that you've said. Thank you so much for being one of our favorite callers on We Got Issues. You always lay it down. We have several more callers that we want to get to, but we appreciate your comments and adding so much value to this conversation on today. Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Can I say yes? Go ahead, Eunice. Mm-hmm.
I just want to make sure that, because I want to make sure we have time, why this strategy? Why is this important? You asked. I'm glad you asked. It's important because of the Black church. All right? That's why it's important.
Cornerstone of our community. And that's why I have to just shout hallelujah when the churches call, when the pastors call us, because our process is we can't do anything without the pastors at the churches. They are the conduit. And then the pastor will assign a strong, willing, what we call CC. That's the church coordinator. And then we take them to training because, see, the pastor and the church coordinator are the trusted messengers. Everybody's not ready for this, but the pastor and the church coordinator that's strong and listening and understanding and have gone through the training and being and eager for the families and the people to do better, they're the ones that are key. And so I just wanted to make certain you knew that the churches are what we need to engage in. No matter what city you're in, have a conversation with your pastor. And hey, call us if you want, and we will give you a hookup to the Clinton Foundation, to Talking is Teaching, to Great Start Collaborative. Great Start Collaborative is one that pulled us in working with the state of Michigan. And they are awesome. I'm sorry.
And to our Facebook audience, our tribe, most of you have churches and you understand that this is so important in the development of our children. And so we will put information out there so that if you're interested in having a program like this at your church where children can come and they can learn words so that when they go to preschool or elementary school, kindergarten, they will not be behind in their vocabulary. We have a couple of more callers. We have Rhonda. Rhonda, are you still there?
Hey, Rhonda, I can hear you. Welcome to We Got Issues. Thank you for calling.
Okay, so I'm from Greater Grace Temple, and I am the church coordinator at Greater Grace. Yeah. How you doing, Lady Eunice?
Fine.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you my story. I go out in public, and I'm a trusted messenger, and I let parents know. But the biggest pushback that I get a lot of times is parents think that they know it. And I'm like, no, you really don't know. So it's like when I try to approach people and tell them how important this is, they think they know. And I always say, well, let me just tell you, I have 3 grown children, and we're all honor students in college. And I am not a crab in the barrel. I want to share this information with you. So what I'm going to give a shout out to Daryl Woods Jr. He has a newborn baby as of 2 days ago. He's on the line right now. He took this by the horn, and he is all ready for his beautiful son. His dad is at Greater Grace Temple. And these are the people that we're trying to reach, like Eunice said, at 0, newborn. And I told him, start talking to the baby, start reading to the baby. Because he's really ahead of the game. He's just so excited. So when I texted him, he said, I'm on. Now, mind you, this baby is about 2 days old. He's already on the board on what the vision is. And I had another parent, newborn, they had the baby up reading the book. So I'm just really excited about this knowledge and this information because I've been in the school system. I work in the school right now. I've been in school for over 20 years. And I see our children falling behind at record rate. So everything Eunice has said, I echo it. And the man that was on earlier, I echo it. We've gotten away from our part as parents in our children. Like my granddaughter. I'm trying to get her to do her math back by memory. You can't use your fingers anymore. So I tried to start this program years ago that said, this is when I tell parents, if you read 1 book a day to a newborn, it takes you 2 minutes. So 365 days. This time next year, you will have put 365 books in that child's head. Now, you multiply that by 3. That's 1,000. That's 1,000 books just for Daryl. You're listening? This is just for his newborn son. And we're not talking about long, complicated books. It might have 4 or 5 pages. But at the end of the day, it's the dialogue. It's the dialogue. You're talking. You're singing. You're reading. You're telling. And that baby, I said, if I can let you see what's going on inside of your baby's head with the neurons and protons, how they're just firing up. It's a new tree. And so every time you say something to a baby or a child, there's connections that are being made. And people don't understand that, like a person who, in the wintertime, that's a person who has no books read. So the trees are barren. In the summertime, when the leaves are there, that's a person whose child has books read. And sometimes that gap is very hard to close. So the earlier you get on board with reading, talking, and singing, by the time those kids get in kindergarten, they are already ahead. And usually kids who are ahead stay ahead. I'm not saying that they can't catch up those who are behind, but typically those kids who come in with that advantage are the ones who will be taking the AP classes in high school. So I'm just so excited to be on board with Eunice and the team that we work with in Detroit, that we're going to change this narrative. We're going to change this about, and the biggest thing I want to say is parents really don't know what they don't know. So we're here to change, and we're here to inform them, and we're here to empower them. I can go on and on, but I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you so much for calling. And I just want you to know, when my grandbaby is born, as soon as it's born, I'm going to tell Angelica, listen, either get on the phone with Rhonda, get on the phone with
baby, and I'm going to start singing. And that baby might be like, oh, please take me back to my mama. Take me back to my mama. But But yes, this is such this is such great information. So Rhonda, we appreciate you calling in, and thank you so much for all that you do to keep Greater Grace Temple's children and the community children involved in this program. It is so important. So we appreciate you. All right, we have another caller. Jerry, are you still there?
Yes, I am.
Hi, Jerry. Thank you for We Got Issues. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, I have a different take on some of the things, just to add on to what y'all saying. These kids are geniuses. And a lot of the old school way of teaching is old and dead. These kids at 1 year old, they know how to work tablets, iPhones, and different things of that nature. These kids know how to program computers, not mostly the old way of teaching. You only can teach people from what you know. And the second part of the 0 to 36 months, we need fathers in the household, because if a young boy is only seeing women and not seeing any male, how do you think his brain is going to develop? You need I know a lot of women have done a great job with their children, but they need an uncle, they need a good neighbor, they need someone from the church. They can't have a father. They don't have a father. They need other people. I come from the foster care system, so I'm telling you somebody from someone who is legally an orphan, but I had a great, wonderful mother and father that adopted me, but I couldn't really understand. This is something that a lot of people are not looking at. 37% of all kids are in GPS, are from the foster care system, and if you add on kinder care, then you're talking about maybe 40, 50%. So we need to think about this from a completely different perspective other than the old school way. What do y'all think about that?
Eunice?
I agree. I think this is what we're doing, but what you need to know too is that you're absolutely right. The children are very smart. The parents are very smart. Sometimes there are dreams that has been defied. They have not reached their own dreams. So they're so busy looking at the children like, I'm trying to get it together. So, and we know that, and that's why I started to say earlier, I'm glad you brought that back up, is that now's the time for us to embrace the families, so that they know that if you have a child, that child is precious, and we're going to take care of all of them. Okay, I have my one last, we're getting down to the I know that lady can take me off in a minute, so I got something I got to say. All right. Talking about that 30 million word gap. So what do you think of the difference between kids who have books and those who don't have books in the home? Like I said, we have lots of books. And you might know families out there that do not have children that has children that do not have books. Start there. Simple books. I am too.
But it's a hybrid approach. Because you can take a child who, 2 years old. They could probably recite all the rap songs they can hear. But the old school way of teaching is not really working. We know it's not working because we can see it's not working. We don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure that out. A lot of us are educated, and we do understand that children are developed 0 to 5 and primarily from 0 to 3 years old. And secondary from there. But we need to be in a situation where we have our children culturally astute. Read, these transitional phrases, different things that are making from an earlier age. By the time a child is 4 years old, they need to know some form of transitional phrase. And whoever said this earlier was correct. You can tell where a child is going to go because, we have the 4th grade failure syndrome. By the time the 4th grade happens in test scores, they'll already have reduced prison for this particular neighborhood. They already know. Yes.
I just want to comment. You're saying something that's very important that we don't want to miss. I totally agree with you that we absolutely have to have a hybrid. And, you know, I believe that there are things that are foundational and you build upon those foundations. And so I believe that, you know, yes, we as a community, we need to talk to our children. But I think one of the issues that we have as well is you have children raising children. And so then you have that generational, I don't want to call it a curse, but the generational thing that happens where if your parents didn't talk to you, then you turn around and you do the same thing. And so it's a cyclical thing that happens. And so I think it's not just one way and that's the highway. I think that it is absolutely important that we establish a great foundation and you build upon that. I agree with you, Jerry. I have seen children, little kids of 1, 2 years old, walking around with a cell phone, pushing numbers, taking pictures. And I am always in awe, you know what I'm saying, that they know how to use a cell phone at that early of an age. And so that's great because that's the technology piece. And they're growing up in a society with technology that we didn't have when we were growing up. But I guarantee you, those of us that grew up in our era, we do have a vocabulary. Our parents did talk to us maybe a little bit more. So I just think that I agree with you. It's not one way. We definitely need to find multiple ways, but I agree that we absolutely still need to talk to our children. That is so important in their development.
That is important. Yeah, that's important. But I wanted to add that piece. I didn't want, you know, I wasn't even going to call in, but I said, you know, let me call in and give a different insight and viewpoint from a person who worked with a lot of younger people. And I'm talking to them, and, you know, I own a recording studio. For the most part, when they want to talk to me about rap music, I just move it over to Kaiser Gray. I never let the conversation go undone with without the act of Kaiser Gray. Do you plan on having a better education? Because I can talk to them that way because I'm in the hip hop versus some people that's not. That's what's working too. And some of the educated Black people, they need to work with some of the rappers who are educated, who can be a conduit. Because we know that some of these children don't want to talk to people who are not from their particular background.
Right. They have to be relatable.
Exactly. So I think that needs to be on the floor as well.
Very good. Children aren't born smart. That's the key.
I'm so glad that you did call in. I'm so glad that you did get a different perspective because that's what this show is all about. We absolutely love when people call in and they think differently than we do, and they have different thoughts that we have. So we appreciate you. You added lots of value to this conversation on today. And so we hope this won't be your last time, Jerry, calling in.
And I will leave my number in the box. So
okay.
You know, give me a call. I used to have your number. I don't have it now. But I'm going to leave my number in the box. You can contact me with the information. We can go from there.
Okay, sounds good. You guys, we are coming to a close. I can't believe it's over this quickly. You have been listening to We Got
and the Superstation. We want to give a special thanks to our guest, Lady Eunice Shaw P, for throwing down on today, sharing with us the importance of literacy and our children. You guys, remember, read to your children, talk to your children, sing to your children, because it will make a difference in the long run. Again, thank you so much. We'll be here tomorrow at 6 o'clock. We Got Issues on 9:10 a.m. The Superstation. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye.